Earthquakes, nature's way of shaking things up, literally. But don't worry, I'm here to make sure you don't get shaken up too much while learning about them. Hey, what's up? Today, we're digging into earthquakes, those wild, ground-rumbling moments that can turn your day upside down. I've got a ton of crazy facts, some science that'll blow your mind, and a few laughs to keep it chill. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know why the Earth likes to dance, and how to not freak out when it does. So here's the deal. Why do earthquakes even happen? And why do they always seem to hit at the worst times? Like when you're in the shower, covered in soap, or trying to look cool cooking dinner for someone. It's like the planet's out to mess with us, right? Let's figure this out. Alright, let's break it down. Earthquakes happen because of tectonic plates. Picture the Earth's crust as this massive jigsaw puzzle, except the pieces don't fit all nice and neat. They're always sliding, bumping, and grinding against each other. Kinda like a bad dance party where everyone's stepping on toes. Most of the time they move super slow like a snail on a lazy day, but sometimes they get stuck. The pressure builds up, and when they finally slip, bam! That's an earthquake. It's like when you're wrestling with a stuck pickle jar lid and it pops open out of nowhere, splashing juice all over your shirt. Only with earthquakes, it's less pickles and more, collapsing buildings. The spot underground where the slip happens, that's called the focus. And the point right above it on the surface, that's the epicenter, where you'll feel the most action. If you're standing there, good luck keeping your balance. The shaking can last a few seconds or a few minutes, depending on how big the quake is. Now, let's talk size. Earthquakes get measured on the Richter scale, which goes from 1 to 10. Each jump up, like from 4 to 5, is 10 times stronger. A 1 is so tiny you'd barely notice, like a fly buzzing by. A 5 might rattle your windows and knock over your favorite mug. A 7 or 8. That's when stuff gets real. Walls crack, roads split, and your dog's probably hiding under the couch. The biggest ever recorded was a 9.5, but we'll get to that later. Here's a cool bit. There are two main types of waves that make the ground shake. P waves hit first. They're fast and can zip through solids and liquids like a speedy messenger. Then come S waves, slower and twistier, only moving through solids. That's how scientists figured out the Earth's outer core is liquid. S waves don't make it through. It's like the planet's got a gooey center, and earthquakes are our way of peeking inside. Most quakes happen along the Ring of Fire, this giant horseshoe around the Pacific Ocean. It's where about 90% of the world's earthquakes go down, plus a bunch of volcanoes. So, if you live there, like in California, Japan, or Chile, you're basically on nature's roller coaster. Buckle up. But earthquakes aren't just about destruction. They can do wild stuff, like make new land. Back in 2018, an earthquake in Indonesia pushed the seafloor up so fast it created new beaches overnight. Imagine waking up to a whole new coastline. Talk about a plot twist. They can also trigger tsunamis. When an underwater quake shifts the ocean floor, it shoves water into giant waves that can smash coastlines hours later. If you're at the beach and the sea suddenly pulls back, don't stick around to take selfies. Run! Let's hit some famous quakes. The 1906 San Francisco one was a magnitude 7.8. It trashed the city, sparked huge fires, and left people scrambling. But it also made us smarter. Better building codes came out of it, so not a total loss. Then there's the 1960 Valdivia quake in Chile. Magnitude 9.5, the champ of all quakes. The ground shook for over 10 minutes, tsunamis slammed coasts as far as Japan, and entire towns got wiped out. 10 minutes! That's longer than most TikTok attention spans. Closer to my time, the 1989 Loma Prieta quake in California, magnitude 6.9, hit during the World Series. The Bay Bridge collapsed, freeways turned to rubble, and everyone watching TV was like, wait, what just happened? I was a kid back then, glued to the screen, thinking earthquakes were some next-level chaos. Okay, let's switch gears. How do you stay safe? If you're in a shaky area, have a plan. Stock up on water, snacks, a flashlight, and maybe a deck of cards to kill time. Secure your shelves so your TV doesn't go flying. When the ground starts moving, it's simple. Drop, cover, and hold on. Get down, slide under a sturdy table, and hang on like it's a rodeo. Don't run outside. Stuff falls and you don't want a brick to the head. Doorways? Old news. They're not safer, so skip that idea. Now let's bust some myths because people say wild stuff about earthquakes. First one. They only happen in California. Nope. Japan, Alaska, even Missouri get in on the action. Missouri had a monster quake in 1811 that made the Mississippi River flow backward. Backward. That's some sci-fi vibes right there. Second myth. You can predict them. Nah, not yet. Scientists are trying, but earthquakes are sneaky. Third myth. Little quakes stop big ones. Wrong again. Small ones might even hint at a bigger one coming, so don't relax too soon. Here's a funny one. I felt a tiny quake once while brushing my teeth. The mirror wobbled, toothpaste splattered, and I'm standing there like, is this a sign to switch to an electric toothbrush? It was over in seconds, but it's nuts how fast your brain goes from huh to oh crap. Oh, and animals. Some of them are quake detectors. Dogs bark like crazy, cats bolt, even cows get weird before a big shake. Scientists think they sense tiny tremors or magnetic shifts we miss. So, if your pet's acting like it saw a ghost, maybe keep an eye out. Let's talk engineering real quick. Smart people design buildings to handle quakes. Some sit on rubber pads that soak up the shaking, like the buildings wearing sneakers. Others have giant weights inside, like the 660-ton steel ball in Taipei 101 swinging to keep things steady. It's wild to think a skyscraper's got its own gym equipment fighting earthquakes. And here's a random fact, quakes can mess with your head. People say time slows down during big ones, like the world's stuck in slow-mo. It's not time travel, just your brain freaking out, but it's pretty trippy. Alright, here's the jaw-dropper. Earthquakes can straight up change the planet. Take the 2011 Japan quake, magnitude 9.0. It shifted the Earth's axis by a few inches and made days a tiny bit shorter. Yeah, the ground shook so hard it tweaked time itself. How's that for a power move? So, there you go, earthquakes in a nutshell. They're loud, messy, and unpredictable, but knowing what's up makes them less of a mystery. You've got the science, the stories, and a few laughs to boot. Next time the ground rumbles, you'll be the one dropping facts instead of dropping your phone. Just maybe save the trivia for after the shaking stops. If you like this, hit subscribe for more weird science stuff. See you next time.